All right. So if you need to pitch a realtor, technically, like this is how I would approach it. Most realtors approach people for video, either being like, oh, I got a unit to sell, or like I need this or whatever. And it's like, look, as a content strategist, that's not really what I do. My job really is to focus on the bigger picture of your entire brand and get you to your goals in your business. So instead of just focusing on one property that once it sells, we got to go out and do a whole nother one. You got to invest all this other money. We focus on building you as the brand and the people that everyone associates as being the local expert in real estate. So the way we're going to do that first is we need to establish like your foundation. We need to set up your defense so that whenever a lead comes through or someone's doing their homework on you or whatever, we have the most polished, perfect presentation of you. You know, it explains who you are, what you do, more importantly, why you do what you do, areas you serve. And then we'll use this video to really attract your ideal clients, more of the listings that you really want to do, and push away the clients that we don't want coming through the door. So you're going to save more of your time not working with shitty leads. You know, you're going to have a better presence there. We're going to get some testimonials from people that you worked with as well. Because once someone knows, hey, this guy looks really good, you know, he could be a perfect fit for what I'm looking for. The next thing they want to know is he good? You see a product you want to buy on Amazon. Oh, I love this product. Is it good? You look at the reviews. So we need to then have your further social proof in there, other clients you've worked with, unique situations where you solve problems and went above and beyond, and we can talk to those people and get those testimonials. So once again, anytime someone comes through and sees your landing page, someone texts you and said, hey, I got your number from so-and-so. You say, cool, so great to meet you. Here's my video business card that tells you a little bit more about what we do. Would love to chat more if it makes sense, you know, and you can send them that way. So now your foundation set up and we got all that. We need to get more people coming into your system. We need to get in front of more people. The way we're going to do that is with ongoing content. So what I'm thinking is we do 2, 4, whatever, you know, videos each month, quick little videos, quick topics, you know, 1 minute, maybe top. Short form content is king right now on social channels, and we can optimize them for whatever platform you perform best on. So things could be, you know, it could be, hey, here's the top 5, my top 5 restaurants in this area. You know, you're showing them, look, dude, I'm so ingrained in the local area. I got my top 5 restaurants. I love to go there. You know, here's my top 3 beaches. Here's my, you know, favorite dog parks in the city. Here's cool things you can do. So like during COVID, we're like, here's places that are open and stuff like that. Then you could also be doing more case studies as you go. Let's get more testimonials as you go. You're only going to be working with more and more people. We want to be capturing that. So some of the months we can do testimonial content. Maybe we come up with like a creative way to showcase a property one month, and we just do it really short form, kind of fast paced, like B-roll. Hey, check out this house. So it is showing like maybe you got that $1 million listing that you're trying to move more into. Let's market the hell out of that to show people, look, I'm doing $1 million listings. I don't want your $200,000 piece of crap house. You know what I mean? So I typically like to approach these situations different. Like I don't like getting locked into a 12-month. If you do, go for it. What I typically do is I'm looking at this project in 3 phases or 2 phases or whatever. The first is your video business card, you're this, you're that. This is going to let us get it dialed all in on your brand. You know, we're going to figure this stuff out. We're going to get that foundation set up. Great. Once that's done, we're going to go into phase 2, which is the ongoing $3,000 a month retainer. Like typically it takes 60 to 90 days to get through phase 1, and then that will start. And then once we go into that, like that 3,000 a month is every month. You know, it's not like pick here, pick there. You need to be all in, committed to this as well. Otherwise, like it's not going to work. So if you say, dude, I'm just too busy this month, that is still due, because I have people and places and systems and things that, you know, we're expecting to keep kind of doing these things. So that's a way you can approach it, or you could just approach it as a whole. The reason I like breaking it up like that is sometimes like 35 grand and someone's like, that's a big number. Mm-hmm. When you sell cars, you'd never say, oh, the car's $30,000. You say your payment's only $152 a week. And it's like, how many weeks? Like 7,000.
Don't worry.
But you get people to focus on the smaller amount. That $200 a month, that's a cup of coffee a day. You can't afford a cup of coffee a day. Of course you can, sign up, So I like looking at it as a smaller number because I feel like just psychologically, it helps them process a little better and say, okay, $3,000 a month. That's 36,000. It's even more, but it sounds way less than 35 grand right now, or you can say, look, we want to do this, but I charge a $5,000 upfront strategy fee and everything to just dial it in, build out the plan for the year. And then it's 3,000 a month. There's so many different ways you can kind of position it based on how it goes with the client and what you're feeling. But as long as you have a couple of those avenues in line to where it's like, look, this is what we'll do. This is what we won't do within that. You can go in and just let them know too, like, look, people are going to see this and they're going to come to me wanting me to do more realtor content. Like, I don't really want to be working with your competitors either. So that's why I'm also looking at this. Like, I only really want to work with one person in residential, one person in commercial in the city, and take them to the top. So if that's you and that's your vision, like you're looking for one of the best video strategists in the area, I can assure you, like, no one's looking at video plus strategy the same way we do. No one's diving deep into the analytics, tracking actually what's happening so we can get smarter for future videos. That's what we're bringing to the table over a videographer that you say, hey, point the camera at me, make sure it's recording. Make sense?
Hell yeah, you said phase 3.
So phase 3, I always put in there, even if I don't have a phase 3, I just put like performance marketing or something. And they're like, what is that? And I'm like, phase 3, like, if you get to phase 3, it means you're making a hell of a lot of money and you're going to pay me a hell of a lot of money and we're going to be celebrating together. Like, so I just get them super fired up for that future of like, this is my vision. Like, how's it going to feel at the end of the year? This is what I'll ask in the sales meeting. I say, what are your goals? Great. You want to get from 35 to 50 houses. All right. How is it going to feel? Let's say at end of the year, it's New Year's Eve. We're out, we're cheersing champagne and we're celebrating how much we just freaking crushed it this year. What does that mean to you? What does that feel like? Someone might just say, oh, it means I hit my goal. And it's like, are they all in or are they not? Someone might be like, that would literally be the greatest day of my life. That's what we're going to do. That's what you and me are going to do together this year. That's where we're going to take it. Visa or MasterCard.
That's it, dude. Yeah, man. It's funny, like everything. I have all that.
Yep.
I have all that.
It's just connect. Like you have all the pieces. They're just kind of like the system isn't there, and it's going to come into place for sure. As you start like kind of learning how to just approach it the right way, because if it's not approached right in the beginning, it becomes very hard to kind of shift back around. That's why we follow the sales process. That's why we ask all questions. I had someone else the other day be like, oh, it was a real easy sale. I knew they wanted this video. I knew what I was going to charge. So she's just like, just let me know the price. I told her $3,000. She said, great. I was so happy. And I'm like, oh, awesome. And she was like, yeah, but I was like, what if that could have been 30,000 and you could have helped that client even more? It was like, fuck. It's like, what was the video for? Where was it going? What makes most sense for that client? Is that one video really going to crush it for her, or would 10 videos be better? Even though you're scared to quote that higher number, think about it from the client perspective too, to where it's like for me to be successful, you have to be successful, right? So don't skip those steps in the sales process, because you're going to uncover all this other information. Like, I got an extra 10 grand out of a project just by figuring out that they were training their new franchise owners one-on-one, and and it took a week, and they planned to onboard 40 new franchises that year. I'm like, so you have 2 full-time people just training people? Well, what does that cost you a year? And they're like, 50 grand a person or whatever. And I'm like, what if I built you an online training module for 10 grand that just broke all that stuff down. And you could just send them to clients. They're like,
Oh God, I didn't even think you could do that. Yeah, yeah,
oh man, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm like, yeah. Then they're like, what happens if someone at that company like brings on a new person? You fly them out again? And they're like, yeah, I guess. Like, and I'm like, no, dude, we're gonna change that. But it's only because when I first started selling, I would go into every sales call like, all right, I need to sell a VBC. This is what I need to say. I need to charge $5,000 minimum. Like, no, be confident, do the close this way, do this. And you're so caught up with like, oh, okay, great. You want a brand video? Yeah, we can do a brand video. That's $5,000,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So shift that to almost like how we started this conversation. Dude, just tell me more about your business. What's going on? Where are you guys at? Learn more about their business. Be genuinely curious to learn more about their business, because also learning about businesses in detail is going to let you then, like, if I pitch a travel client now, it's so easy because I've pitched so many people and I've learned so many pain points to where I know exactly where they're at. You know what I mean? So the more you learn about their business, and you might find that that guy, while he really loves the idea of $1 million listings, you might find that the time that it takes him to close on a $600,000 house and the money that he actually makes at the end of it and the clients that he work with makes much more sense from an ROI perspective, you know? And he might be actually making double the money there based on like the time he puts into it and what he gets out versus the $1 million listings where clients are more of a headache or this or that. You know what I mean? So your job is really to get in there and help them break that down. So like, let me think of a company, this camping client I'm working with, right? So they have 700 campgrounds. They have RV rental sites, like you rent a slip and pull your RV in. They have units you can rent, and then they have camping, like you can just come set up a tent. So there's 3 different memberships in there, right? They're running all their ads just as a blanket, like 20% off, like come. I'm like, I've been working with you guys for a year. I don't know what you offer. Like, we don't run their ads. So I'm trying to get them to finally understand why we need to run their ads. But so I'm like, let's break it down. Like, what makes you the most ROI? Like, for me to take over ads, let's pick one property, one avenue. What makes the most sense? RV slip rentals, awesome. Let me dive in and build out that aspect first. Once we really dial that in, now we can bring it to all your rental units. Now we can bring it to all the camping style and recreate it the same way. But like, we're starting at one avenue that makes the most sense for them. The reason being, you'll get clients that are like, hey, we want to grow TikTok. TikTok's the new thing. We got to get all over TikTok. Okay, what would that cost for you to build my TikTok? $35,000. What am I going to make from that? Probably nothing, right? It's a hard sell. Whereas if you say, what's currently making you money? I know you want to get into TikTok, but let's just take a step back and like look at the whole picture real quick. Where are you currently at? What's currently coming in? And how can we maximize that? How can we get more profit coming in for you over there, so you're confident to give me more money, essentially, to keep going in all the other areas, right? Like, we need to die. We need success, and we need success fast in one area. What is that area that we can hone in and modify and make amazing? And you'll be surprised. I had a client, they spent $1.2 million a year on advertising and Google ads. And we got it, and they're like, we just need social media content. I'm like, I have a process for a reason. I follow the process every time. Like, if we want to work together, let's just go through this real quick. So spending 1.2 million on ads, they thought they were crushing it. And then you start breaking down the numbers, and I realized they had a 0.5% click-through rate from their landing page, right? So the ads worked, got them to the page, and then a 0.5 click-through to actually book an appointment. Once there was an appointment, they had a 70% close rate. And I was like, holy crap, like, you guys are closing everyone that comes in, but you don't have enough people coming in. Right. And that's where they're like, social media content, this and that. I'm like, you have 70 schools and 70 different pages. How are you in 70 different locations? How are you going to do that? like, what if we could design a package that could get this 0.5% up a full percentage? What would that look like to you? They said we would save 400 grand a year on marketing. I said, okay, that's what we're going to do. So I built them a plan with 10 videos. I charged 25,000. We made 2 main brand videos and then 6 other subcategory videos. How do you guys treat safety at your schools? What's the curriculum like? What's the food like? How does it all work? Like breaking down specific topics that each person had, and then some testimonials and all that stuff. Once they implemented that, their ad costs dropped 30%. So they saved 300 grand in a year. One lever pulled. And they wanted to pull a completely different lever that I could have quoted probably the same and done it the same, figured it out and got that budget, but I guarantee you they would not be still working with me. And that conference I told you about in 3 weeks, exactly that.
Fire, dude. Fire, man. I know you got shit to do, bro. I wanted to we never met, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad we had a chance to connect, dude.
Yeah, man.
I'm stoked to hear about all the backstory stuff. I love knowing like before where we're at now. Like, how did we all get here? So I'm really glad we had a chance to connect.
Absolutely. I did have one other question.
Yeah,
Are you Greek? French?
my real name's Chris.
Okay. All right. I'm like,
I'm a white boy. My mom's Italian. My dad's like Eastern European something. You don't even know. I go by Italian if anything. Siebes came from just my initials, CB, Siebes. Someone threw them together in high school. One friend from high school came up to college, dropped him in front of all my new friends, and it was just game over.
yeah.
Then it was a way to hide like from employers when I was like going the corporate route. Then when I was there, I was like everyone thought I was the CEO of the Fortune 500 company's nephew. So like they were all afraid of me kind of. And I was just like, this is kind of perfect that they can't find me on social because it's all just me in college, like getting fucked up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then when I started doing filmmaking, like I just started posting to share like, hey, look at this cool. Like I just thought it was super cool. And that's how the work started coming through. And then people would be reaching out being like, hey, Sheebs, like someone told me about you, to the point where, dude, I would add people on LinkedIn as Chris and they'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't know you, fuck off. And I'm like, it's Sheebs. And they're like, oh my God.
Mm,
So I just transferred it all and just, it's kind of fun. Also,
nice.
Florida's like a public state. Like everyone can just look up your stuff. Like I told you for 5 years, I knew this was like the direction I'm going. So it's like, why? I don't want people showing up at my door.
Mm. Do you know a Robert Decora by chance?
No, I don't think so.
He was a surfer. He might have been. I think he might have been from Daytona, so maybe you wouldn't know him. But I know he was a surfer, and we worked together for a while. But yeah, man, that was it, man. I definitely wanted to just chop it up with you, get to know me get to know you a little bit better, and bada boom, bada bing. And I appreciate you, sharing.
Yeah, no problem. Shoot me that recording if you could. Once it's done,
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, absolutely,
that'd be dope. I don't know where, but I'm trying to just like piece all this other stuff together.
sure.
And if you're any interest in the stuff we're doing, are like they're probably going to bump it to like 20 grand a year eventually. Right now they have 5 grand for 6 months, and it's like we're just relaunching it, so like it's very one-on-one right now. Like there's a ton of attention in there. So if there's ever any interest, just shoot me a holler, dude. Obviously, no pressure on anything like that.
You said Paul, Xavier, and who else?
It's Paul and Anthony. I mean, mainly just think of it like working with me because I'm going in actually rebuilding everything from scratch with what I've learned. I'm bringing like me and Paul are different. Paul is the nerdy operator, and it serves really well because now I'm CEO over there, and he's my COO to just handle all these other systems and processes and all this stuff. So I can really focus on doing what I do best, which is like getting in front of people, creating content, seeing the bigger vision, just like we do with our clients. It's the same thing in your company. So I'm rebuilding it basically from the ground up, but look at it like an insane amount of support, one-on-one access, and then all the modules for everything that you would want to learn about ads, pitching retainers, all that stuff.
Fantastic, man. Oh yeah, dude. Well, let's keep crushing it.
Sounds good, dude.
I'll see you in a few days, man.
All right, brother.
Thank you, bro.
Peace.
Appreciate your time, man. Good talking
No
to you.
problem, man. See ya.
Talk to you soon. Peace.